Hi there, everybody. Welcome back to the Align Your Stars podcast. I'm your host, astrologer and transformation life coach, Lumi Palenku, and I'm so happy to be back on this podcast to talk about the monthly astrology of March. And this is such an exciting segment for me to do. I've decided to recreate this segment for you all. Amazing viewers. And in case you're just deciding to hop on by and to see what is in store for you astrologically, I welcome you. And if you haven't already, if this is your first time visiting, please subscribe to this channel and as well as like this post. And I would really appreciate your support in this because I do love to extend astrological insights and soul-centered advice, because in my approach, it's much more soul-centered and it is meant for you to become much more engaging with your own free will expression and working with the stars to help support you on any goals and ventures you may have, whether it is you are wanting to power up your relationships or powering up yourself or becoming more inspired in your journey, because astrology does open up the doorway for you to explore these realms of life. And the astrology of March is really going to be an experience for us because, as you probably know, if you're an astrology buff or if you're just learning about astrology, I love to talk about Pisces season because I am also Pisces and I really deeply connect with this sign because I work a lot with, I'm meant to incarnate as a sun sign Pisces for a reason, and it's amazing how fast 2024 is just rolling by. I just cannot even believe it. And it has been a very incredible year for me so far, even though I went through a lot of intense changes in my life. I just happen to believe that, when you're working with the Pisces energy altogether, you have to learn how to be unconditional in your life, be much more empathetic, also to extend compassion for yourself. It is the most important thing ever because Pisces season or Pisces energies in general is very absorbent, very limitless. There's no limitations at all when it comes to Pisces energies because you just want to spiral out and just feel things very deeply. And with Pisces season, the veil is thinner. It's much more, we become much more interconnected with the higher realms of life. We want to engage much more with our intuitive selves. May even feel like you want to pick up a tarot card reading or something, becoming much more interconnected with the spirit realms of life, and maybe even seeing like triple numbers or experiencing serendipitous events. It's a very receptive period, and it's meant for you to start becoming more engaging with the higher mind, more compassionate and empathy filled for other people. And you see all the shades of life in a much more observatory kind of standpoint, or at least you strive to be, because that's what Pisces season's all about. It's not a season for us to actually necessarily engage with in any way, confrontation or anger or just resentment or past regret. It's more along the lines of you starting to make peace with all that you've learned so far. And even karmically, Pisces is the sign of karma because Pisces rules the 12th house of the higher conscious realms. It's the period where we are isolated. It's an isolated kind of period because we may feel like really tired, or we may feel like what happened to us or what happened to me. It's like you have to like undergo this introspective dark night of the soul, if you will, to help you bring in the light of life, starting to help you understand as to where you are going in your life and becoming more authentic in your path. That's the nature of Pisces season. You dream much more harder. You become much more engaged and more invested with soul work, inner work. What does that mean, inner work? Inner work is more along the lines of you facing those periods and facing those aspects of yourself that really needs healing. Pisces is all about you facing the mirror and seeing what has been reflecting back to you. And I have to say that Pisces season is one of the most intense moments in my life. Even as a sun sign Pisces, I feel it very deeply too. I feel really tired and just like, when is spring coming? I really need that energy. I need that step. I need to be powered up in my life, but really Pisces is meant to help you become much more reflective, calm down. And I would recommend you to start doing like meditation work, doing like much more reflections, mirror work, where you're just looking inwardly. It's meant to help you face those periods of your life that needs to be generated. And it's hard to do that because we are in a nature, because we as souls are very introspective in a sense, but we are in the vessel, the body. The body's very earthy. It's very, It's all about really like wanting to feel certain things. We're more physical, but Pisces season, or the energetic self invested in Pisces season, is meant to help us become much more feeling and understanding of others, understanding of yourself, becoming much more invested in the process of self-acceptance. That's the general consensus of Pisces season. It's about you surrendering and honoring the light you hold inside. And that is the key to mastering Pisces season. And it's a period for you to see the magic in everything. It is not the period for you to lament on past karma or to lament on whatever it is that's been overlooked in your life. There's no regrets. That's what you have to see this, because Pisces is the embodiment of all of the human life experiences and transcending above it. So at the beginning of this month, Mercury is swimming through Pisces waters. Envisioning our ideas coming to life is through a much more rose-colored spectacles, and that is to be expected. However, there's another aspect to consider whenever Pisces and Mercury are working together, or Mercury is residing in the sign of Pisces. It's more along the lines of you becoming much more creative. It's also helping you invest time in terms of listening more intently with the inner voice, as opposed to listening to whatever it is that you're speaking outwardly. We become much more invested in terms of higher conscious work, and even learning to listen more with our higher mind and higher self. And I would have to say that jotting down your ideas will help tangibly root down as to whatever it is that you're meant to hear. And that will help you stay much more grounded and organized, and it will all make sense later once Mercury does enter the sign of Aries. So this is a period for you to just become reflective and not really necessarily knowing the answers just yet. Just be. And in the beginning of this month, Venus and Mars are both in the sign of Aquarius, and it's involving our creative process, what needs reinvention. And this also involves in our partnerships and relationships, how we are basically evolving together and progressing in our journey. You have to not give up, because alchemizing and formulating and just becoming more experimental with these realms of life will pay off as you remain consistent. So the same applies to the love story too. It's more along the lines of you understanding how you and your partner, if you are in a relationship, could progress together. It's not along the lines of you just going on autopilot. It's more about you becoming more invested in terms of your growth together as one. Now, that's how Venus and Mars could work together, because Venus and Mars are the love planets. They are meant to help us become more invested in our relationships in its direction. So Venus is about the courting phase, how we love through much more in the moment, whereas Mars is about the go-getter, the one who wants to get to point A to point B without question. But with them both being the sign of Aquarius, it's meant to help you become much more alchemizing, more progressive, more about like putting your heads together and coming up with like some kind of creative solution as to what's been going on lately. So if you've been feeling a little dialed down in love, Mars in Aquarius and Venus in Aquarius will help dial it up. But it's about you exploring. It's not necessarily going to extreme. It's more about just approaching it like a child, and approaching it as though it's like curiosity. It's not necessarily a period where you're trying everything. It's more about like trying something that is piquing your curiosity, and then just see what goes through, like what breakthroughs you could find when you are in a loving partnership. The same also applies with your creative process, with whatever it is at work or your business ventures and such. So with Aquarius, it's meant to help you see a better perspective. So now let's begin the month, the overall view as to what's been going on. Record these days down and just keep this in mind in your moon journals if you have any. It's really worth looking into later whenever these days do flow by. So March 3rd, Venus is in square to Uranus. Speaking of relationships, Venus is in Aquarius, Uranus is in Taurus. What is going on in the skies here? Well, Venus and Uranus, when they're working together, Venus wants to explore, wants to invest in the realms of love, whereas Uranus is like, let's alchemize something. Now, Aquarius loves Uranus because it's a natural ruler. However, Uranus is currently in the sign of Taurus. Taurus is about safety. It's like a mutual reception because Venus loves Taurus, whereas Uranus loves Aquarius. So these two facing each other head on is like an alchemy. It's like a very weird, different, yet polarizing alchemy that's going on here. So I would say love will be marching to a much different beat on this day. And when it crosses off into an intense square like this one, you may see what could be in the name of love in your endeavors, but this planetary mixture could brew some blunders and mishaps in communication, leading to impulsive decisions. So you have to cultivate patience and understanding for each other, and or in your love story or your creative ventures, just have this as a buffer, because patience and understanding will help extend the clarity that you need to know. Because later in this month, when Venus meets up with Uranus again in a sextile, that will be a much more favorable moment for you to revisit your love story around this time, or creative events, which will help you find the resolution, and everything will make sense by then on March 28th. Okay. So keep those dates in mind when Venus squares Uranus, leading to the catalytic event that needs to be considered. And then on March 28th, when Venus meets Uranus in a sextile, it's much more of a supportive kind of day when it comes to revisiting with what's been unfolding on the 3rd. Okay. So keep those dates in mind. So then we move on to when Mercury conjuncts Neptune on March 8th. Oh my gosh, the mist is going to thicken. We're going to feel our mental clarity. She's like, what's going on around here? It awakens the dream realms when this happens. So when Mercury, the messenger planet, merges with Neptune in Pisces. So both of these planets are in Pisces. It's very lots of multi-hues of colors. Like you'll feel like you're like walking in a dream in a way. And the conversations, because Mercury represents ideas and conversations, it's going to slow down. And Neptune will be really helping you see the minor information as to what you've been overlooking. And it could be a very spirit-filled day. Like you feel like much more invested in terms of exploring the higher realms of consciousness. And dreams will be much more visceral and lucid. So just keep in mind of any information that's coming through, because you'll find a solution to whatever has been bogging you down, or a solution as to how you have been befuddled in your life. And it's totally normal to feel reflective during this time. So start journaling your thoughts and feelings and you can even begin like a creative project. You can start engaging much more with the intuition work, and because it's going to expand, especially on this day. And the receptivity to new forms of information will lead to solutions to what you need to know later this month. So keep that in mind, because Mercury and Neptune, when they work together, it's a little confusing at first, but then it could lead to some incredible realization whenever you are just flowing and surrendering to it. Okay. And that is on March 8th. So now we move to March 9th when Mars squares Uranus. Watch out for heated discussions or the urge to rebel against your superiors, because when Mars faces Uranus in this TED square, it's going to be a little like confrontational, or you'll feel that kind of like earthquakiness of energy. So it's not necessarily a period to like just say, I quit, or or a period for you to say like, I'm done with this, or whatever it is in your life that needs to be observed. Mars and square Uranus is meant to help you understand with what has been overlooked in terms of your perception of authority. So if you're feeling triggered on this day, you have to look inward as to why you're feeling triggered. It's more along the lines of you facing with what's not been taking ownership. If you haven't been a leader lately, or if you've been feeling like you're letting things go and leaving things to chance, that could spiral out in terms of the confrontations, or it might spiral out to you feeling impulsive in some way or form here. Now, later on this day, Mercury is going to be picking up speed, but it's like more of a pioneering kind of energy. So whatever your thinking process is around this time, it's going to be picking up speed, because you're going to feel much more fiery and more inspired to just start something new, or you'll feel much more grit whenever it comes to your dealings with your ideas. It's not necessarily a period for you to necessarily put things to stone, It's more along the lines of you just picking up speed as to what you've been laying down in terms of your ideas and goals and formations of any sort, because Mercury will be supporting you on that. Once Mercury fully is in the sign of Aries, because it just ingressed into the sign of Aries on this day. So conversations exchanged could be rapid, but you have to be careful because you might experience a face plant or two if you're not careful with your discussions. Okay. So just really, really contemplate and start reflecting and observing before you state something. Okay. Now, later on this day, it's such an action-filled day. It's like pulling you in different directions. So it's just like a very, it's like a firecracker day, I have to say, okay? But luckily, the later part of this day, the sun will be in sextile to Uranus. Sun is very, very happy with Pisces and meeting with Uranus and a supportive sextile. It's going to be emanating some light involving the reinvention of yourself, how you want to be breaking free from the limitations of self-inflicted lack of belief. So it will help you become much more open to the possibilities of what could be in your life journey. And it's really great to start something new in some way, experimenting, because Uranus is all about alchemizing, experimenting, becoming adventurous. Because I like to say, like I always refer to the tarot cards. Tarot cards, if you know it, the major arcana. Uranus is an association with the Fool card. The Fool card is about taking chances, packing very lightly in regards to wherever it is that you intend to go. It's not about you packing in the baggage that you've been gathering up for some time. It's about you breaking free from that and starting to pack lightly and decide whatever it is that you want to adventure out into. And what is in store for you, it's by your divine free will. And the adventureness of your life, adventureness of your spirit will be the guiding light in terms of you taking chances. But it's all by you feeling good in the whole entire process. It's in no way meant to deter you from taking chances in any way. Because when the sun meets in sextile with Uranus, this is a period for you to observe what makes you feel good in your process and in alignment with your future decisions and ideas. So just go with your gut and not your emotions. It's more about your intuitive self that has to come into line here. And that is March 9th, and then leading into March 10th when the new moon's in Pisces. Beautiful. Now, the new moon taking place in the 12th house, it's about your subconscious realms. It's not necessarily a period for you to manifest anything. It's more about planting a seed of something new within your belief systems. It has nothing to do with the motivations of your life. It's more along the lines of personal beliefs, how you see yourself, and also just turning over a new leaf in your process as to what you are believing within yourself. So when you plant your seed of intention concerning your dreams or the bigger picture, that will be very helpful for you because we are intending to set our course of our motivations. It all begins with the mind. Whenever we feel the lack of faith in ourselves, we probably won't even begin it because the self-limiting beliefs is what deters you from taking chances here. But luckily with the new moon in Pisces, this is a new leaf involving you in terms of what you sense within yourself and becoming much more invested in terms of compassion for self. And that's how you're going to be navigating through this transit. It could be very profound when you start recognizing that. And on later on this day, luckily, Mercury is also in a supportive sextile with Pluto. Pluto's in Aquarius, early degrees. Mercury's in the sign of Aries, early degrees. This is really going to be a beautiful new moon to work with because Mercury is about information and inspiring, fiery confidence. Pluto's about like, yes, let's do this. Let's evolve together. And becoming more invested in terms of your dealings with what you believe and including other people in your journey will be very helpful too, because you're never alone on this. Pluto will help you become much more focused on the bigger picture of how you can evolve with others. So learning how to engage much more with your soul tribe, becoming more invested in growing with others will help you too. So just let people in, people who make you feel good. That's very crucial when you're dealing with the new moon transit here, okay? So with Mercury and also in supportive sextile with Pluto, It's going to help you unearth your inner truth and also the root of your needs. So include that in with this new moon manifestation as well as ritual for yourself. So as Pisces is on an end note, it's involved with the past and karma. It's going to allow you the space to observe where you are at your path. Becoming detached from the material realms of life and self-serving tendencies will help you realize what should be your priority here. This new moon enwrapped with Saturn and Neptune. Saturn and Neptune are also in conjunct with this new moon as well. It's going to help solidify your process because Saturn helps bind whatever it is that you have set yourself onto. So you will excavate the desired results whenever you lean into belief and alignment with your endeavor without any selfish ties. So this is a period for you to invite purity of purpose, and that will help you become more successful in the future. Now on March 11th, Venus will be in the sign of Pisces. Pisces is it's a very exalted position to have. So love will be definitely on a radar here because it's more about like ascending and going through transcendent experiences with your love. If you're in a partnership right now, you're definitely going to evolve so much with your partner. But if you're not in a loving relationship, this is going to be a very auspicious period to start analyzing where you stand in relationships and your views towards relationships. It's also a period for you to start invoking this self-compassion because Venus and Pisces is about you seeing love in a completely different light. And relationships will be generated from a much more heart-centered approach. So the conversations with Mercury and Aries on this day will be passion-filled, leading you to speak more truthfully as opposed to egocentrically. So this fusion together will be very helpful whenever it is to get answers that you need. And just be mindful because these next several weeks could lead to codependent relationships. So just be very observant as to who you let into your space. Analyze the state of your inner self and your body, how you're feeling in the presence of others. If you're feeling winded and tired or just without any energy to spare, be careful. Take a step back and start analyzing as to why you're attracting these relationships because it could lead to codependent ones or narcissistic filled ones. Because with Venus in this position could give you a rose-colored pair of spectacles for these next several weeks. You may see love and beauty and perfection in everything. Just start analyzing why. Why do you see perfection in everything? Or in the relationship, if you're overlooking your feelings in the body, take a step back and analyze why. Okay. Now, orienting your values based on soul-filled connections, how you feel energetically together, it will deepen the bonds and help you see the truth too. So focus more on the spirit rather than what looks good on paper here. All right. So that is March 11th. So now we move on to March 17th. March 17th, the sun's in conjunction to Neptune. Remember days back when Mercury was merging with Neptune? Now we continue this story with Neptune. The sun in conjunction with Neptune. Wherever the sun goes, it shines. So Neptune is the higher realms of thought. It's our subconscious beliefs. It's also the dream realms. So our dreams will likely be much more lucid, and the imaginary realms will be fertile with endless thoughts and possibilities of what could be. So the sun infused with Neptune, I like to call it infused with conjunctions, because it will extend such a technicolor response to life, helping you see and pay attention to what you truly want in your story. Ignoring your feelings will backfire, which could lead to confusing results. So start honing in on your feeling self, not emotions. You have to be calm in this process here, because when you overlook your calm self, your calm self is in alignment with your feelings, whereas emotions are in connection with ego. So the sun in alignment with Neptune could take on a polarity kind of feeling. Could be one shade dark, two shades light, two shades dark, one shade light. It's very intensified whenever you're not in the most purity kind of state. So today is the day for you to shift your life direction based on correspondence with your dreams, more in alignment with your soul self as opposed to your human self. Listen carefully and take notes on this day because you will be very receptive to information and just observe. Now on March 19th, the sun will be entering Aries. So what does this mean? Well, we're going to feel a lot lighter, a lot lighter and a lot more fiery. It's very exciting because Aries, I love to compare to like that sprouted seed of promise. And the same also amounts to our seasons, what we experience, because spring is it's very much in correspondence to Aries because that's the beginning of spring. This season also motivates and it also extends an initiatory path for us to, for our projects and passions to take form and come alive. And as reflective as you were during Pisces season, Aries season will allow you to become more fiery and courageous and motivation filled in your process with your next steps. Arrange a spring cleaning because I have to say, whenever you are going through stagnancy, because in the winter time, we oftentimes just accumulate everything, right? Because we want to warm ourselves up. It's either energetically or it's even physically. We're like prone to like wanting to buy things or prone to like wanting to collect things in any way. Now, this is a period for you to start clearing out your space, organize that spring cleaning because that will actually help you feel more clarity in regards to your next steps. And you'll feel much more momentum and movement and more prana energy with your process here. So I would say arrange a time for yourself. Could be on this day, ideally, but be within the next couple of days where you can arrange a spring cleaning because everything's going to clear up by then. And it will also inspire you to remain on the course. And also you'll have much more momentum with the season because of that. So for these next 30 days, organize that. Okay. And you'll stay aligned. Now, on March 21st, Venus will conjunct Saturn. Very auspicious day because from earlier part of this month, when Venus was in square to Uranus, it was very tension filled. It's not necessarily a period for you to make decisions based on your relationships. It's more along the lines of you analyzing the state of why the intensity is happening. Now, in conclusion of the story, wonderful, because Venus will be conjunct Saturn. It's either a commitment or you'll feel like the need to start like evaluating where you're going with this relationship or your commitment towards your creative projects and things. So you can expect solidity. And in your relationships and creative adventures, this is a moment for you to see with what's working, involving with your heart alignment. So this transit could be serious in tone. However, if you're up for a commitment discussion involving your relationship or your creative process and partnerships, now's the time to get answers because it's very crystal clear here. Okay. And now we enter March 22nd. Your physical drive will be aligned with your emotions. Mars is very powerful. When it's in the sign of Pisces, it's more in alignment with the feelings and emotive self. So emotions are not necessarily good. Now, it's more about feelings. Emotions are ego connected. Now, Aries season is activated by Mars. It's like the ruler planet. Now, when it's taking on the tone of Mars and Pisces, you have to become much more in alignment with the root of your motivations, in alignment with your feelings as opposed to impulsivity. So in your love story, because it is a passion planet, it's telling you to slow down, instilling the need to analyze your direction and in line with compassion of some sort. So if you are in a breakup phase, compassion's needed. Now, if you are in a relationship now, this is a period for you to slow down and become much more compassionate for yourself, no matter where you are in your love story. It's not necessarily a period for you to end things. It's more in alignment with you observing your love story from a different perspective here. Mars in the sign of Pisces will soften the edges of what has been transpiring these last few weeks, and you will focus on what is most important in your direction and in your connections. Your motivation will be steered in a more energetic sense, and whatever feels right for you will give you the boost you need. So that is the Mars and Pisces transit for the next several weeks. So keep in mind that your feelings will be the guiding light as opposed to impulsivity. Now, in conclusion for the month of March, lunar eclipse, we are starting the eclipse season on March 25th. These next 2 weeks are going to be very auspicious for your growth and auspicious in terms of the direction of your relationships now, because lunar eclipse happening in the sign of Libra. Libra is the sign in alignment with relationships and finding the harmony in relationships. Now, the lunar eclipse is in relation to a super full moon. Now, lunar eclipses take place within a 6-month range. Keep in mind that this is not a period for you to end your relationship. It's more of a period of your life where you're analyzing as to what's not serving you at this point, but it's also a period for you to start analyzing as to what are you carrying with you. Lunar eclipses are meant for you to start focusing on what you need to do to lighten up the load in your energy. Also, what you need to lighten up the load in regards to your process of connections here. Because Libra is all about finding the harmony and the sense of injustice that you've been experiencing in your relationships. So this is your moment now to start realizing with what's bearing you down and start to face it in courage. Because when you start making room for you to remove things in your life, not removing physically, but removing energetically. So it could be a past relationship, it can also be a current relationship or an aspect of your relationship that needs to basically be put away or completely let go. Because once you do that, it's going to open up pathways of healing and from incredible movement in your life. So with Venus leading this story, because Libra is ruled by Venus, it will help us find the truth as well as helping us navigate what we truly want in our love story. So remember, whatever is weighing you down, observe why. See what the root of your triggers are and analyze what you need to do to help fix it or help buffer it at least, because it is really crucial for you to start realizing whatever it is that you need to let go in order to make room for something even better in your life. Believe me, it will help because eclipses are very substantial when it comes to you following through the rhythms of this life, following through with whatever your soul is cueing you to do. Because Libra is all about fairness, justice, beauty, harmony, peace, balance. It's very important for you to consider that. So if you are having any of these things or lacking any of these things in your life story so far involving love, start considering reviewing these things. So remember, whatever is weighing you down in this moment in time in your story, unpack the root cause and then let it go. Thank you so much for watching this month's astrological forecast on the Align Your Stars podcast. And if you haven't already, please subscribe, like, share. It would really help grow my channel. And I appreciate you for watching and supporting. And if this is your first time, I appreciate your view and as well as liking this channel. So please follow and share and subscribe. It would really help me so much in terms of continuing this journey with you, as I love to constantly educate and give you a much more soul-centered approach in your life journey. Okay, so now we're going to cover the sign of Aries and what you can expect for the month of March. And this month, the focus of your lessons will be on your relationships, both current and future. It will be the month for you to focus inward and observe the state of your wants and needs outside of your connections. So the key days for you to look out for is March 3rd, when Venus goes into square with Uranus. Venus is the planet of love, and it will be in your friendship and network zone in a square with Uranus in your second house. So your 11th house and second house are an impact here with your horoscope. So this may bring unexpected challenges that may test your self-worth and your views towards loyalty. However, the beginning of the month will help you become much more assertive and understand the importance of setting boundaries. So this moment in time with the Venus square Uranus will be giving you this power and momentum for you to realize where you stand with your assertion and also the ability of saying no to things that are not serving you. So keep in mind to that, okay? It's not a period for you to have a big confrontation or a blowout or anything like that, but it's more along the lines of you developing the inner courage for you to say no to things that are not really aligning with you at this moment in time. The new moon located in your 12th house will help you emotionally focus on your long-term endeavors, but it's not a time to get to work. It's necessary for you to establish a new sacred practice to help deepen your connection with your soul self, higher self, if you will. And it's also a really good time for you to plant a new seed in regards to your personal beliefs, how you will be giving yourself the momentum in time for the new moon in Aries next month. So this is a period for you to prepare yourself, becoming more empowered in your approach to life. And this is a period for you to rest, rejuvenate, and reflect. And it will really kick you into high gear and find successful ventures down the road. So with this lunation, it's going to level up your manifestation game because it's going to help you navigate what is the highest priority in your life. Now, another date to consider is when on March 11th, Venus will be in the sign of Pisces, taking place in your 12th house also. It's about to get serious because it will motion for you to slow down and analyze your connections. If you're in a relationship at this time, the next several weeks will be really crucial for you to start really dialing down, not really pushing yourself too far past the limits. It's more along the lines of you investing time with your soul growth in your relationships, but it's also a period for you to develop much more compassion for yourself, also building up your own sacred practice for self and holding more compassionate space and invoking more self-love in your life. And that's how March 11th will be working for you. So you have a lot of 12th house activity going on here because Venus will be conjunct to Saturn in your 12th house. So when the love planet joins Saturn on the 21st, this is the moment when you understand where your love life is heading. This is also a period for you to analyze your internal self and your introspective and becoming more serious in tone when it comes to the direction of your life story and how you are generating yourself in the most authentic way possible. So if you're in a relationship, this is good for the serious commitment talk, but it's also a period for you to start analyzing the state of your energy around people who you are investing your time, energy, and resources with. So be mindful, become reflective, and also understanding as to where you're going and hold a more compassionate space for yourself as to where you're heading. Now, finally, on March 25th, the lunar eclipse in Libra in your 7th house. The lunar eclipse on the 25th will lift the veil involving your love story. As you dig deeper into your partnership or revisit the past unresolved matters, you will find clarity and understanding as to what you can do to improve the outcome in your love life. The lunar eclipse taking place in your 7th house will help you see in clear view as to like how your relationships have cultivated at this point now. Everything is in the fullest of light. So for these next 6 months, you will have a much better understanding as to the direction of your life story and your love story particularly. So it's not necessarily a period for you to decide on anything. It's more of a period for you to observe an aspect as to what you need to let go. And it's also a period for you to focus on your partner as to what they are doing or how they are interacting with you. You can deepen your love in this connection, but it's also a period for you to remove things that are not serving you together as a couple anymore. So this is a period where you'll be living much more authentically in your life. And it's a very exciting moment in your life story because lunar eclipses are very exposing, but it's also very truthful. So you'll get to the root of the matters and you could pave a much better direction because of that. Okay, so now we're going to be drawing a Prism Oracle deck. I'm going to show you the deck of the cards right here. Such a beautiful one. So I want to draw a card for you for this month ahead and what advice you can take with whatever comes through in terms of working through this month. Okay. Okay. You got the isolation card. That's very 12th house. Not a scary card, I promise, okay? Isolation is a card that indicates that you need to start becoming more removed from people because you've been very, very busy for these last several months. Pisces season is crucial when it comes to you becoming more invested into your inner self, going through energetic hygienic practice. What does that mean? Well, energetic hygienic practice means that you need to go through inner clearing. So whatever it is that has been bogging you down lately, internally, this is a period for you to start reflect on that. Why are you feeling bogged down lately? What aspect of your life needs clean sweep? Because 12th house is all about, like, I like to see the the 12th house is like the upstairs attic where you just keep stuffing all of your stuff, your storage up there, and therefore the roof may collapse or the walls may collapse because of that. I'm not saying it's going to literally happen in your brain, but it's more along the lines of how you are living your life and what are you accumulating up here in the subconscious realms. Okay, isolation is an indicator that you need to breathe, retreat, and become more invested as to you engaging more of an energetic hygienic practice. So do meditation, do somatic breathing work, do journaling, write everything out because writing heals, meditation heals, journaling, dreaming, if you go through a sacred practice to help invoke the sense of peace and serenity, if you can like go for a walk, or you could go through like a retreat of some sort, that can help you too. And I hope you enjoyed this message, Aries. Enjoy the month of March of 2024 and have a great month. Be well. All right, Taurus, this is the month for you to make changes and to find yourself becoming more motivated in your process to work and working towards your desired goals. Venus and Mars in your 10th house, it will be adding this grit and traction for you to step up while igniting momentum in your position with your career and your public self. What is your legacy and how are you going to be powering up your own confidence this month? So with the Venus square Mars on March 3rd, I would recommend you to not take no for an answer, because in your career with your authority figures, it is important for you to maintain optimism and as well as persistence, which you are very good at. And just avoid burning bridges. Not to say you would, but this is a period where you may feel in like this rebellion brewing inside you, because with Venus and square to Uranus, Uranus wants freedom, where Venus is the traction and the trigger to make those changes. So you could take no for an answer. You can go for a pitch. Not necessarily the day to go for a pitch, but you're developing these ideas because of that generating of angst or motivation and power will be generating you in that day. So take notes as to what has been like percolating in you. And this is a period for you to visualize what you want to showcase, your talents, your gifts, and like becoming much more inspired to step out of the norms as to what you've been living out in your life path. And this will be the starting point of you becoming more invested with your career growth and invested with your purpose. So just pay attention as to what is like really making you feel passionate inside, because you're going to be feeling it, especially with this Venus square Uranus transit. And then leading into March 10th with the new moon in Pisces. Oh, period's beautiful because it's taking place in your 11th house, the 11th house of your networks. This is going to be inviting you to plant a new seed that involves with your motivation and even collaboration with your future endeavors. This will ensure success as you involve other people. And it's not necessarily like your current networks of people. It's more along the lines of you inviting new people in your space who offer variety and universal thoughts and ideas to the table, because you will collaborate with a lot of people. And it's even a great period for you to initiate connections and even initiate much more outreach to other people from different walks of life. So it's like you're building a tribe around this time here. So it could be friendships, it could be working relationships, it could be something to the point of you investing more growth opportunities through all those people that you interact with. So this new moon in Pisces will be very powerful for you to plant a new seed involving your connections leading to successful ventures. So keep in mind and start developing like ideas or whatever's coming to mind this moment now as you're watching this. March 10th will be a power day for you to start like planting that seed and seeing it sprout in the next few months. And then leading to March 22nd, when Mars enters Pisces in your 11th house later this month, when it enters your social zone, I mean, it's very auspicious time for you to participate in groups. So as I said before, with the new moon on the 10th, March 22nd will be a really powerful day because you're feeling more momentum and traction for you to participate in groups that will motivate you and help you beyond the norms, like break through the norms of what you thought was possible, because people that you will collaborate with will push you against the limits and past the limits for you to see through with your aspirations. Also a great time that you're going to be pushing yourself, and you will see how much strength and courage you have inside you. And it's also a great time this day to send your cover letter or resume or pitch, because a breakthrough is going to likely happen. So if you're feeling it in your gut, if you feel really positive and you feel very inspired, take a chance. Now, leading into the March 25th lunar eclipse in Libra. So it's going to be magnifying your focus on your daily routines. This lunation will highlight the importance of connecting to your body, taking care of it by investing more into its vitality and letting go of toxic situations. So this could be a period for you to start planning a health regimen or leave an environment that's not serving you anymore. This is your moment to witness the changes in your body in retrospect to your life experience, because you're going to be feeling a little sensitive around this time. So take note as to what's going on in the current paradigm and analyze with whatever it is that you need to remove from your space, or to remove yourself from an environment that is not serving you anymore. Now, this process may also involve you to master your self-limiting beliefs and also inviting a metaphysical or alternative approach to your lifestyle. So if you're feeling like a need to have a massage or acupuncture or hot stones or cupping or anything of some sort where it comes to you feeling much more sacred in the body, this is a really good period for you for the next 6 months, because investing time with your vessel, your sacred vessel, which is the body, it will help you become much more rooted and much more healthy. So invest time with your own sacred rituals, and you will be setting yourself on this path of success and motivation, and you'll feel very good throughout the next several months. Okay. Now we're going to be asking about what message you need to know for the month of March. What is the advice that you need to know regarding the month of March? Oh, beautiful. You got the peace card. So, peace, how I see it. Beautiful. This month will be very good when it comes to stirring up your motivation, your momentum, and all those things. But peace card is an indicator that you don't need to make impulsive decisions just yet. It's more along the lines of you feeling most safe, serenity filled, and at peace in your body before you decide to take these next steps. And as long as you feel very calm and fulfilled within yourself, that's actually going to lead you to avenues of growth and opportunity in your life. So I love seeing the dove here, because the dove stands for messages as well. So keep in mind as to what you see around you. If you see a dove glyph, this will be of an indicator that it's a sign to, it's a sign for you to go ahead. Or it could even be you like coming to terms with peace in your life. It could be like a peace offering on your end to your superiors, or a peace offering with whatever it is that you need to let go in your life. So it could be like with the lunar eclipse taking place in your 6th house, could be letting go of an aspect of your working environment, or it could be you leaving your job. So go in peace. It's not to burn bridges. It's more about you just not really taking that step through resentment. It's more about you amicably departing, if you will, or amicably departing from an aspect that you don't want to invite in your space anymore. So that is your message for the month of March of 2024. And thank you so much, Taurus. I hope you enjoyed your reading for March 2024, and I will see you soon. Okay, Gemini, so some changes are expected to happen for you this month because your energy is so magnetic and full of possibilities. It's a strength of yours to naturally be curious and experimental. Now, this month of March, you can name your terms in your career or pinpoint your aspirations. Now, the key dates for this month are March 3rd, when Venus squares to Uranus. It's going to be activating your 9th house and your 12th house. So when this happens, you may have doubts regarding your inner beliefs and confidence, but use this as an opportunity for you to be bold and start charting out your desired dreams. The pressure you may be feeling can be fuel to your motivation here. So be mindful as to like what limiting thoughts are coming through to the surface. Is it external, or is it really your truth? So as you are navigating through the reasons why you're feeling certain things or experiencing certain things, you have to start designating time in terms of evaluating how you're wired to believe or how you're wired to think. Because this period, specifically on March 3rd, will be the catalyst moment for you to realize as to what you need to rewire. And observe and use this as your momentum and fuel for you to be more motivated in your life. Okay. And that leads to March 9th, when Mars squares to Uranus. It's also activating your 9th house and 12th house. So I would say you will also be seeing the truth regarding your determination and what aligns with your higher purpose. So there will be a continuation as to what you've been navigating through and how you've been working through your life. And Mars will be the catalyst of change that you need to take on the 9th of March. Now, leading into March 10th, when the new moon happens in the sign of Pisces, it will be taking place in your 8th house. So what does this mean? Well, It's going to help you turn over a new leaf regarding something, regarding your endeavor. Could be endeavor. It could be also a change and shift in your work-life status. And you can set your intentions regarding what you truly desire for you to attract results. Eighth house also has to do with your resources. What are you accumulating with your partner? How you are going to be working together to utilize more progression and thought and progression in monetary gain. So keep in mind that this is a period for you to settle off debts. It's also a period for you to settle off anything that has been bogging you down for these last several months, okay? So you'll be feeling a breakthrough of some sort regarding your personal status and also when it comes to your personal beliefs. So just keep going with that, okay? And be structural and much more methodical as to how you're going to get to point A to point B. That is the new moon message for you. Now, for March 25th, the lunar eclipse will be taking place in your fifth house. This lunar eclipse will be phasing in your romantic fifth house on the 25th, and it will also allow you to close a chapter regarding a storyline in what you no longer wish to live out. This is love matters. So it's the fifth house has to do with like the romantic sector of things, how you are connecting in relationships, and also the courting phase. Who are you attracting? Like in your love story, it's not necessarily commitment phase. It's more along the lines of who you keep attracting and why do you keep attracting them? And you're going to be figuring out your worth and also your power in this life. And through your relationships, who you decide to let in your space, you will see in clear view here, okay? And it's also a period for you to manifest your romantic patterns and conclude a creative project. So if you have something that has been, brewing or developing for some time, this is a period for you to see completely cultivated and to release it in the world of some sort. Okay. So that is your lunar eclipse message for you. And it's a very powerful moment in your life because lunar eclipses are the endings of some sort. So in your case, fifth house, it could be ending of an aspect of a relationship, aspect of your love story, or how you're believing in love lately. And you'll be attracting much more incredible connections because you are taking the time and investing more with your soul growth here. Because lunar eclipse in the fifth, it's about the purity of love, the purity of purpose behind love, and what you can do to attract a love that is more meaningful and more authentic in your life. Okay. And that is your message, Gemini. And I hope you enjoyed it. And we will be drawing a card in regards to advice and as well as what you need to know for the month of March and how you can best work with the month of March of 2024. Okay, Gemini, you got the card called Hunger. It's yellow. So yellow has to do with assertion. It also has to do with your power sector. You may be feeling like hungry for certain opportunities or hunger for certain aspects or situations in your life, but you have to navigate the reasons of whether it is healthy for you or not. Because whatever it is that you set your heart and mind to, it could manifest very strongly, leading to really powerful lessons here in relation to the lunar eclipse. So yellow is a very fantastic color to work with. However, the only thing about that is like wherever you put your power into, you have to really figure out the reason why and what are your true intentions here. It's not necessarily just for impulse. It's more along the lines of you becoming more authentic and finding the reason behind why. That's the reason. And that's the general message for the hunger card. And I also see like the circle, because no matter what you do, depending on like whatever venture you want to take on, or even like the pinpointing of the reason why you are hungry towards this aspect or thought or aspect of person or relationship of any sort. What are you hungry for? Now, depending on how good it is for you, it's going to keep circulating around and around, repeating the patterns. So just be mindful. Is it good for you? You have to go through more of an observatory kind of position here before you take the dive into pursuing it. Okay. That's also in relation to the new moon in Pisces in your eighth house. So become more mindful as to what you're wiring your thoughts to be. Also, just make ends meet. Finish your priorities first and really figure out what you truly authentically want. Okay. Now that is your message, Gemini, and I hope you enjoyed the month of March of 2024 in your reading, and I will see you next time. Hello, Cancer, and this is the month of March 2024, and here's your horoscope message. So, Cancer, your approach to life this month will be like walking through a dream, as though everything you set your heart on will take root. Your relationships will deepen, and with the love planets Venus and Mars advancing your spiritual zone in the ninth house is very auspicious because it's going to be adding more grit and momentum to your higher beliefs, and also you aligning much more in relationships involving with the energy self as opposed to the physical self. So you might even connect with people who will be very powerful, like in terms of like their with their dealings with foreign relationships of some sort. It's in your eighth house right at the moment now, but it's going to be progressing in the ninth house later this month. So it's something to look out for. So with Venus and Mars in your eighth house, then leading into the ninth, the eighth house is about you taking root as to your understanding of the motivations involving your merged partnerships and your intimate life. So things will get spicy there. But then leading into the ninth, it's more about the emotional connection or the feeling connection and the intellectual connection of love. So it'll be taken on a different octave later down the line. So enjoy this first half of the month, but the later half of this month will be much more about getting busy with or becoming more intentional with your connection here. Now on March 3rd, when Venus squares Uranus, be mindful because you might be swept off your feet, figurative and literally, in your love story. So just be mindful because it's taking place in your eighth house and your 11th house. So Mars taking place or Venus taking place in your eighth house at this time, it's going to be adding a bit of pressure in regards to you finding the dealings involving your finances and whether it is in alignment with your aspirations here. So it's not necessarily time to make ends meet financially, but it's more along the lines of you looking to support in regards to what you can do to progress your financial accumulation with your partner if you are in a partnership. But if you're not in a partnership, this may be adding pressure for you to start pinpointing your dealings with others and how they can help you and you can help them. And it could also be you investing time in regards to you collaborating with other people. You might clash a little with them. It's not to say it's a bad thing. It's more of a collaborative effort. So try not to stress the details. It's more along the lines of you finding creative solutions together. And that's your message with the Venus square Mars on the 3rd. Now we lead into March 8th when Mercury and Neptune work together. They are in your ninth house of the higher realms of life. With this conjunction happening, your higher mind will regenerate, stimulating you to engage in a new belief system or finally launching your passion project. I mean, just very powerful because with Mercury taking place in your ninth house, it's about researching deeply as to what is aligning with you, what makes you feel so light and inspired. And Neptune alignment with Mercury will be promising new avenues of opportunity here because it's about beyond the limitations of norms of life. It's more about breaking free from the structural conforms of what was. It's more about emerging much more in alignment with your higher self and becoming more inspired through the process of inviting your higher self as the way to figure out whatever it is that you need to know or whatever it is that you feel an inspiration towards here. Okay. So belief system might be birthed here. You can also post your podcast or whatever it is that you're inspired to launch here or publish. This is a really powerful day for you. Now, moving on to March 10th, when the new moon happens, especially around this time, this is a period for you to launch or plant a new seed of an intention here involving your long-term dreams. So it could inspire you to go back to school or begin a new spiritual practice. Becoming more engaged with the energetic side of things will help you instead of being focused on material realms because it will give you a powerful boost in your love story or your endeavors here. Any endeavors of any sort will be powered up because it's more about the intention of purpose and as well as the purity of purpose here. Now on March 21st, when Venus conjuncts Saturn in your ninth house, there's a lot of ninth house activity for you here. Your love story or passion-filled endeavor will get serious on the 21st because when Venus aligns with Saturn, this is your opportunity to ascend your relationship status or plan your next steps. You can be planning your next steps with a creative project because Venus is promising when it comes to something taking root here, you beautify yourself through engaging more with the higher mind, higher consciousness mindset, and it's even like going to manifest with your love. your partnership, focusing more on terms of the higher mind and belief and connection here. So this is a period for you to secure a doctrine of some sort or secure a contract of any kind in the ninth house, because the ninth house rules contracts here. So I would suggest for you to start investing time in terms of looking more in alignment with the purpose of your connection, as opposed to what just makes sense here. Lunar eclipse on the 25th will illuminate your emotional foundations and family connections. This can close a chapter on your current residence or inspire you to evolve your family line by adding a new addition. So if you're planning to expand your family, this is a very fertile period for you. It could be leading to adoptions, it could lead to natural births, it can lead to some new intentional phase of your life in terms of expanding your family. Could also be leading you to renovating, wanting to embark on a house project or some sort. Investing more wealth and accumulation in this period will help power you up. And for the next 6 months, it will be very auspicious for you to look deeper as to what you can do to relocate and what you can do to actually start like adding more accumulation of wealth in your life. So investing time and research in this will help set you up for success down the road too. So now we're going to be drawing a card for the month of March 2024, your message for the month of March and what you need to know. What advice do you need to know for the month of March 2024? Ooh, okay. This just popped out. I like this one. Okay, Cancer. You got the magic card. It's magenta. This is really beautiful because there's a lot of manifestation at work here for you. And I would say this is in relation with your ninth house realms here. So if you're like thinking of like upgrading your ritual self, your sacred self, or anything of sort where it requires magic and belief, you have it in you and you're fully supported here. So with March 8th or from March 8th all the way to March 10th, your ninth house is activated, and also March 21st. All of those dates are actually going to be very powerful for you to start doing manifestation work involving your higher realms of thought or endeavors, ambitions, because you are fully supported in this venture. Magenta actually has the color purple and red in it. So red has to do with security. You have what it takes to take root, whereas purple is about visualizing your end process, visualizing your chances of success, remaining optimistic in regards to your approach. So you have a lot of power and pull this month for you to take on this adventure, if you know what I'm talking about here, because you're fully supported. You see how there's like a little eye in the middle. It's like all about pinpointing the nature of your focus and why, and fully seeing it in complete alignment here. So you got the Vesica Pisces symbol here too. Very interesting. So there's a lot of power at work for you here. And I'm very happy for you because with Pisces in your ninth house, Vesica Pisces, that's why, with your fellow water sign Pisces, you do have a fertile mind and a fertile imagination. But with all of these days from March 8th to March 21st, you're going to be very supported on this venture. So keep going with it and believe in the magic of it all. Try not to get too serious. It's more about play and indulgence and creativity and really invoking yourself with unwavering faith and belief. Okay. And this is your message, Cancer. And I hope you enjoyed your horoscope of March 2024. And I will see you next time. Okay, Leo, this is your monthly horoscope for the month of March of 2024. And we begin this month, and your focus will be on where your loyalties lie in your partnerships, with Venus and Mars approaching your private light zone. So it's in the 7th house right now, but it's going to be approaching your 8th house very soon. This is where you're going to begin to see the areas that have been overlooked in your relationship connections. And on March 3rd, when Venus and Uranus go in square with each other, it's going to add a pivotal moment in your stance with your relationship or partnership of any kind in a challenging sense. And as a both sign, you're equipped with confrontation, and that feeling of friction will taper off as you hold steady and observe from a different perspective. Positivity and detachment are key to success here when you're navigating the Venus square Uranus. So reinvention, percolating, observing, and just detaching from the desired results will help you see through and buffer out this transit for you, okay? And then on March 8th, when Mercury conjuncts Neptune in your 8th house, this is going to be helping you become inspired to pay attention to your priorities and begin to navigate your future decisions, guided by your intuition. begin a meditation practice, or create a sacred space to boost your skills and instill clarity here. And when you actually take part or pinpoint and unpack the reasons behind the intensities of life, and you, as a Leo sign, you love to live in the moment, but you also like to be future oriented in a sense too. But you don't really, at times, you don't really look so deep per se. But the eighth house energy is going to help you pay attention more with your private life and really focus on your priorities. So it will be very helpful for you. Okay. So go through a whole mindfulness practice, meditation, and just really focus deep within, because eighth house is the house of introspection, but it's also the house of hidden gems. Actually, you find powerful breakthroughs whenever you take time into nurturing that side of life. And you having Pisces there is very powerful. So really give yourself time and really evaluate, contemplate and enjoy that silence period. Okay. Now, on March 10th, when the new moon in Pisces happened, the same applies. Your eighth house is activated here. It's going to be giving you a great opportunity to strengthen your trust in your intimate relationships, or it could begin a new chapter after past setbacks or disappointments you may be experiencing in your relationships. So you'll see the truth very, very powerfully here, actually. And from the 8th all the way to the 10th, this is the next 3 days are going to be very pivotal for you to really focus on the truth in matters, and the veil lifts for you to realize with what's not serving you anymore in your life and your private life. But it's also a period for you to make ends meet involving your finances with your merged partner and start pinpointing as to what you can do to progress yourselves together. Okay. And now on March 19th, things will start lighting up for you because Aries season begins here in the ninth house. So things will lighten up and you will feel so renewed and inspired to take on new endeavors, guided by your passions. So if you have done the work since the new moon on the 10th, if you've been investing time to reevaluating and contemplating things, something new will emerge very powerfully for you. And you will be guided by more of instinct, more intuitively, and you'll feel much more fiery in your process and more confident here. Okay. For the next month, it's going to be wonderful for you. Okay. When Aries season begins in your ninth house. Now, in conclusion, with the month of March, when the lunar eclipse happens, it's going to be taking place in your third house of communication, thoughts, ideas, norms, like how you connect with others on an intellectual level. So it's going to prompt you to reflect on your ideas, your communication, and interconnections. So part of you has to evolve because the lunar eclipse has to do with the full cultivation of some sort of an idea, a thought form, or a skill, but something has to be let go in order to make room for a better opportunity. And that may involve your perception of your inner world, like of the life around you. And you have to let go and become much more open to new forms of information to build a better traction in your life direction. So third house is oftentimes overlooked by people. Third house is really powerful because it actually plants new and powerful ideas, because it all begins in the mind. The sun is in the ninth house at this time when this lunar eclipse is happening. So the ninth house is like the full cultivated version of the new thought form. So something will have to be let go in order for the ninth house to be nourished here. So if you gain the courage and the momentum and even be inspired by the idea of letting go of something, letting go of this idea or form of a project that you once had, it's going to lead to incredible avenues of opportunity for you. Okay. So give yourself this time. And it's not only on March 25th, it's going to be happening for the next 6 months for you. So give yourself a chance to make peace with the idea of letting go, and you will see the magic begin for you, Leo. So now we are going to be drawing a card for you for the month of March of 2024. And let's see what's in store for you in terms of advice and a message for you that you need to consider and work with. I love this. You got faith. Beautiful. You see, I said before, you have to have faith and belief that something better is waiting for you in regards to letting go of this certain idea. Now, because you've had a very intense month involving your intimate partnerships, if you are in an ending phase of your love story, not to say it's for all Leos, but it could be for some, This is a period for you to start instilling some faith and belief that you could attract an incredible relationship and connection down the road. So just hold on to that. And the numbers that you have here is 2, 4, 6, 8. 8. See, no coincidence. You got the eighth house activated because of the new moon, Mercury, Neptune taking place all in your eighth house. So it's going to be instilling some new information in regarding your subconscious beliefs, your subconscious realms of thought. And this is a period for you to start putting light into it and work with it. When Aries season begins on the 19th, you're going to know what to do from there once you start going through speculation. And it's also a period for you to start investing time with your faith belief, how you are connecting with your higher self and nourishing that part of you. Because when you take the time to slow down and focus inward, focus on the internal state of where you're at in your life, you're going to be a lot more lighter, and you inspire so many people when you start infusing yourself with your own inner light and radiance, and you give it out to the world naturally. So when you live in that divine radiance, and we all have it, but you're solar fused as a Leo, like you're ruled by the sun, so you naturally have it. When you invest time with this kind of practice, people will, they can't help but see you. They're going to feel very inspired around you. And you're the example. You really are the example as a divine light, because we all have it. We're all divine light and divine souls. But Leo, you're meant to shine the light of purity. You're meant to shine the radiance of light and purpose and the purity of light, not egocentric tendencies. We all have ego and light selves, okay? But for you, you have so much polarity. You could be, if you're like really enwrapped into the dark side of life, or the material realms of life and existence, that's when it kind of dims your light. It's more about this path where you're going to be understanding your overall purpose in this time. So for the month of March, you're going to be going through quite a lot of upgrades here. And I believe in you because the eighth house is activated. It's really powerful for you. And I'm really applauding you when you are brave into taking that next step in your journey. Okay. Now that is your message, Leo. And I hope you enjoyed this March 2024 horoscope. So be well. Okay, Virgo, this is your message, your horoscope for the month of March of 2024. As a service-oriented sign, you've been wearing many hats at work. And this month of March, you're going to be dotting too many I's and crossing too many T's lately. You may have been experiencing borderline burnout. So with Venus and Mars crossing over your sixth house, this is going to be your month to name your terms while prioritizing self-care and passion-related pursuits. Now, your key dates for the month of March: Venus will be in square to Uranus on March 3rd, activating your ninth house and your sixth house of your birth chart. And romance is in the works for you in a most unexpected way. Now, it could be a work life, a work romance. It could be a romance percolating long distance of some sort. And this part of your journey requires boldness, beckoning you to take on this window of opportunity for you to ask someone out, or even like talk to somebody you're feeling such a close soul connection with, but you're feeling a little limited because this intense square may be adding pressure for you to step up. And you could feel courage in the line of this friction here. So make a move. If you feel guided to start talking to somebody, or if you want to like really engage much more with your passion pursuit projects, become much more invested with taking chances on something, because it's going to lead to incredible outlets of growth and opportunity for you to learn with this interaction. Learn with either the interaction or learn with this courage that you are percolating right now this time. And if you're in a stable partnership, leave your comfort zone and elevate your love life. So this is a period for you to start observing and analyzing with what needs reinvention here. Okay. And that's your message for March 3rd. Now for March 10th, the new moon is taking place in your seventh house. This is the next stage of your love story here. So seventh house has to do with commitment, partnerships, balance, finding negotiations, and wanting to collaborate on some level. And you can manifest the love that you want and deserve by listing your intentions here. With the love planet Venus and Mars phasing in your relationship sector these next few weeks, expect upgrades in your relationships, because it's going to lead to solidity and commitment later this month, because that's when Venus and Saturn conjunct. We'll talk about that in a moment, which is on March 21st. When Venus conjuncts Saturn, you could expect to have a relationship status shift, an engagement, marriage, or a shift in your relationship in its entirety. It's time to face the music and really pinpoint with what relationships mean for you at this point in your journey, and start living the example by being brave and also not taking no for an answer in some way or form, because Saturn is very persistent and really direct in nature. Venus is the triggering point for you, and you can't help but feeling like you need to step up in some way or give some solid commitment to someone, and or even talk to someone, like talk to that other person that you are contemplating about, like whoever you need to have a sit down with in terms of discussing commitment and how you take a stance on these things and living out your life story by your terms. This is a period where you can establish a contract of some sort or collaborate or really name the terms as to how you want your business transactions to unfold for you. You'll get the answers that you want here, okay? So really pinpoint down in terms of prioritizing what you need. Name your terms, because that's when your ideas and even long-term endeavors together will flow through in a much more seamless kind of way. And now in conclusion to March 25th, when the lunar eclipse happens in Libra in your second house, this will conclude the month with revelations involving your views towards money and financial stability. Closing a chapter or refining your skill set will open doors to increasing abundance. It may not feel that way because you're feeling a little scared of like trying something new. However, whenever you do decide to remove something that's weighing you down and feeling like a chore at this point in your journey, that means it's time to let go. Future collaborations or negotiations of some sort will be favorable at this time. So be open-minded to who's reaching out to you, who wants to work with you or, add their say as to what you can do to reinvent, because this is a very auspicious period for the next 6 months, because you will see with what is going to be coming up to the surface regarding with what needs to be invited. And in doing so and taking time and investing this moment in time to observe with what's making you feeling lighter and more inspired will actually attract better abundance in your life. Okay, Virgo, this is your message in regards to March 2024 and what you need to know in regards to the theme or advice that you need to take with you. Oh, okay. You got fear. Don't worry. It's not a bad card. Okay. Fear is the card that has to do with you um, infusing yourself with self-limiting beliefs and the fear of failure or the fear of being let down or um, being rejected in some way. But I wouldn't take it that way, because fear is the embodiment of anxiety. So I would say start reviewing as to why you're feeling these feelings of fear. So don't be afraid. It's not a bad card. Okay. It's more of an indicator that it's like a thought projection that's coming through, or this belief that you can't find the opportunities, even though you have to let go of something in regards to how you've been accumulating wealth or letting go of a specific skill set of some sort. It's not going to happen overnight, because lunar eclipses happen within 6-month range, as I mentioned before. It's more along the lines of you letting go of the fear and taking chances of some sort. Okay. And fear is just an illusion. Fear is not in any way the outcome of a situation here. Okay. So you have to start instilling yourself with courage and really invoke this self-belief and aspire to something that makes you feel good, because that's going to be the fuel of your motivation here. Okay. And you can do it, Virgo. I believe in you. All right. So expect a really powerful month involving your relationships, because you may be scared to take a chance, or you may be scared to try something new with your endeavor, your creative endeavor of some sort. But don't let that fear deter you from excavating joy in your life. This is your chance to start living out in complete fulfillment here. Okay. Just takes one step. And that is your message for you, Virgo, for the month of March of 2024. And I will see you next time. All right, Libra, this is your month of March of 2024 and what you can expect astrologically. So being the social butterfly of the zodiac, you thrive on forming connections. And this month will allow you to shine this department with Venus and Mars activating your romantic sector and creativity. Very exciting for you. because it's taking place in your fifth house of love, romance, partnerships. It's a very exciting moment for you to start becoming the social butterfly that you are and shining in that light. Now, the key dates for you are from March 3rd to the 9th when Venus squares Uranus. It's activating your fifth house and your eighth house. This signals you to start analyzing the state of your needs, because this transit will add a challenge involving your current connections, because you have to start focusing more along the lines of the purity of purpose in your life and your relationships, as it will help you navigate your direction. It's not just about giving into blind faith of any connection. It's more of it along the lines of you feeling a genuine connection with those. And it's not necessarily just for the sake of settling or just being a people pleaser. You have to learn how to say no to this. And this Venus square Uranus transit may give off that lesson for you to consider. And now this also applies to your creative endeavors, if you're having any, because your eighth house has to do with excavating wealth or the resources that you're accumulating in your life. So starting to analyze what it is that makes you feel fulfilled in your life, which is your fifth house, because it's the house of you feeling young, or it's the house of you feeling true love. So if you're in a relationship and you're happy, amazing. This is about you evolving your partnership, progressing your love story through planning long-term endeavors with your partner, as opposed to just settling. Now, if you are contemplating on a creative project that you have been working on, and you may be feeling pressure because it's not really taking root as quick as you want it to, this is the moment for you to add grit and traction towards investigating why you've been in this place and analyzing of whether it will take root by you really looking deeply as to what needs reinvention here. It's not necessarily just settling for it. It's not necessarily just settling in relationships or settling in your creative projects. It's more along the lines of you seeing what could be, not just letting it sit and collect dust. It's more along the lines of you challenging it. You have to challenge the norm and start living out in a more reinventive kind of pattern for you. It's going to get you out of your comfort zone on this day. From the range of these dates, from March 3rd to the 9th, because when March 9th happens, Mars will be in square to Uranus. This Mars is the war planet. It's not bad, okay? Mars is all about traction, motivation, power, fulfillment, like power and drive. And it's also our anger tendencies, what fuels us to move. So it could lead to impulsivity. I would have to say for you to start looking at the necessary changes that you need to invoke in either your love story or your creative project here. Now, this will require for you to be reinventing and also be detached to the outcome of this chance that you're taking here. Okay. So just hold on to the faith and just stay persistent in your process here. But something has to change here, has to be alchemized. And when you do so and invest time into doing so, that's what's going to help you invoke the power, momentum, and even peace in your life. Now, with the new moon on the 10th, it will be a great opportunity for you to begin a fitness regimen, a self-care practice, or trigger movement in your work environment. Investing time in your health and well-being will keep your body balanced in time for the lunar eclipse on the 25th. So the new moon also taking place on your sixth house. If you are planning to do a health kick or planning to start doing a sacred practice of some sort, something that requires routine, momentum, and consistency, this is your window of opportunity to start instilling that. So take the time and reevaluating the current state of your vitality, because leading into the lunar eclipse on the 25th, and it's really a big deal with the lunar eclipse taking place in your sign, because it will shift the importance of paying attention to your vulnerability while also incorporating your needs. So with the new moon taking place in your sixth house leading to the lunar eclipse, the sixth house is about helping you pinpoint your self-care needs and also learning how to say no to others and really drawing back from people pleasing. Because on the lunar eclipse, when it happens in your sign on the 25th, you're going to be becoming more invested into your care and well-being from now on. People-pleasing tendencies will fade away these next few months, and it will help you become much more authentically centered, and you'll feel like there's more magic brewing in you. And I would say becoming more in alignment with your authentic needs and authentic self. It will help infuse you more with confidence and more of this power and momentum in your growth here. So all eyes are on you with this lunar eclipse coming up. And it's powerful for these next 6 months. So whatever you say goes here. Okay. And of course, amicably is possible naturally with you being the social butterfly. You love peace and balance, but it's about you really balancing the scales once and for all, for you focusing to self and becoming more in alignment with what is really helping you. Okay. And that is your focus for the month of March. Now, I would love to draw a card for you in regards to the advice that you need to know covering the month of March of 2024. And let's see what advice you need to know, and as well as the theme that you're going to be experiencing for the month of March. Movement. You see? That's amazing because in the new moon phase requires you to establish some form of new movement in your life. See all this green energy? Green energy, or the green color, has to do with heart related endeavors, because it has to do with the heart chakra. And green also has to do with like health and vitality and well-being. So with the new moon happening in your sixth house, in alignment with Neptune and Mercury happening in your sixth house. On top of that, the whole entire month of March will be about you investing more time with your own wellness and vitality and overall well-being. So establishing new routines that are good for you and giving yourself time into nourishing your sacred vessel, which is the body, will help you find the movement in your life, and will also help push you in the path of attracting better outcomes in your life. And I would say really take time. And there's four here. There's four stems here, which is an indicator of the movement is going to happen, but it's about you establishing this own focus and centeredness within the body, because the number four has to do with earth energy. So you are an air sign, but earth energy has to do with you finding more structure and routine and becoming very organized in your process to life. And it looks like this month will be really shifting a lot of things in your life and your persona, because once you start categorizing things with what's working, what's not working, and also investing time with your own wellness, it will help you move further in your journey. So hold the faith and really keep yourself empowered and filled with momentum. And that's through you, for once, being, I'm not telling you to be selfish all day or all these years coming up, not at all. It's more along the lines of you self-serving for this time that you need. It's okay to say no sometimes, because I give you permission. And also give yourself permission to say no, because once you do to things that are not aligning with you, that's what's going to be stimulating the movement in your life. Okay? So that is your message for the month of 2024, Libra, and I will see you soon. Be well. Okay, Scorpio. So this is your monthly horoscope for the month of March of 2024. The mysterious yet intense energy that you possess is such a gift, because you have the great ability of getting to the bottom of things. And this month will be filled with revelations involving your emotional security and family connections. So the key dates for you to consider and write down for this month are March 3rd, when Venus is in square to Mars. It's going to be activating your fourth house and seventh house. So forming this intensity of your home life on the 3rd of March, it will require you to slow down and analyze the state of your surroundings, because personally or investment wise, this is a period where you might be feeling impulsive in regards to your stance in the home life, because change is necessary for you to navigate this transit soundly. But it would be best to arrange family meeting or talking with somebody who you feel that you could be vulnerable with. And that will help you get your priorities in order, because you need to speak out or speak about what is truly bogging you down involving your security in this life, because that's what will lead you to breakthroughs of whatever it is that you need to do. You'll have much more structure and priority, and you will feel a lot more sound with this transit here. Okay. Because on the 9th of March, that's when Mars also squares to Uranus, activating your fourth and seventh house. This will involve you to start engaging much more with your partner, or engaging much more with people that you collaborate with. And if you're feeling something that needs to change, you have to have that sit down, and also designate a time for you to really sit down with your emotions and not really just overlooking, going from point A to point B, point C, point Z. It's more about you becoming more still, because you've been really on the go for some time, especially with the mental sphere. It's more along the lines of you starting to invest time for self and also really organizing your own list of priorities here, especially with the home life. So this is your moment. And the squares are temporary. So this is from the 3rd to the 9th of March. So just keep in mind as to what's going on when it comes to your emotional security and stability here. Okay. And you'll be able to make sound decisions personally and as well as investment wise. So just give yourself time and don't make any major decisions here. All right. So now on March 8th, when Mercury conjuncts Neptune, it's going to be in your 5th house of love, romance, relationships, creativity, how you feel the most pure and light. Now, when these two planets meet together, you're granted a silver lining and a restful period to start engaging more in fun. And, you can let your hair loose around this time and orchestrate time with your children or nurture yourself through investing more time with your inner child. And you can connect more with your creative self once and for all. So just paint something or write or journal or something. Draw out all the emotions or draw out all of this information that's been percolating in you for a very long time. This is your moment now to get to the bottom of the root cause of what's been barricading you here in this life or barricading you at this point in your story, because something has to be drawn out. And at times with Scorpio, you inflict self-limiting beliefs or you self-inflict resentment at times when you're in an imbalanced state. Okay. I'm a Scorpio rising. I definitely understand. So it's more about you drawing out the venom that has been really generating in you for some time. So this is your release, like your official release of some sort. And with the Mercury conjunct in Neptune, this is your opportunity and chance of going through that whole stream of consciousness exercise to draw out with what's been bogging you. Okay. And this is your moment, and have fun, make it like a childlike experience and just really get more into your creative self and see beauty, see light, see yourself through a compassionate kind of stance here. And this will help you heal. Now, with March 10th, when the new moon in Pisces happens in your 5th house, incredible moment in your time because you're going to expect a second wind in your life direction, helping you to ground down with what's involving your happiness and your emotional satisfaction. So you could begin a new passion project that makes you smile. It makes you feel most received and excited. And it's also a period where you can start planning a family or just like starting to invoke this new adventure in your life because you've been living an old storyline for so long, but you have to start investing time with whatever sets your soul on fire here. Okay. Because 5th house is about really engaging with your primal self and adventure here. Okay. And that's your message for the new moon transit. Now, leading with the Venus conjunct Saturn on March 21st, very powerful 5th house energy you got going on for the month of March, Scorpio. So your love life is going to feel much more solid and hopeful. And it's also a great period to start connecting with the heart and realize your true wants and needs. And, with Saturn, luckily, it's powerful because it's going to be extending clarity involving your love story and what needs strengthening here. So if you've been going through any challenges in your relationships in the last couple of years or in the last several months, Venus and Saturn will make a pact for you. And you just have to open up and invoke this space of wanting to clear the air of some sort and structuralize your commitment with the other. This is your opportunity, Scorpio, and I suggest you to take it. So now, in conclusion, with the lunar eclipse in Libra, it's going to be taking place in your 12th house of the subconscious realms. It will help you release unsettled feelings or unresolved past issues. And it's also going to be enabling you to start experiencing a soul or spiritual renewal. It's really a powerful and profound time for you to start healing and letting go of the things that are causing you to feel repressed. This is a period for you to level up these next 6 months because 12th house energy is about doing the whole deep cleansing and deep sweep in regarding your subconscious beliefs and understandings of how you are generating yourself as a soul here. So for the next 6 months, it's going to be very powerful for you and you're going to be experiencing lots of upgrades involving your role in this life in alignment with your soul self. So buckle down and get ready because it's a really profound era for you. And you're going to be living on a new and incredible paradigm. So do the inner work, engage much more with your soul self, because this lunar eclipse will be granting you endless blessings, but it requires you to let go of something within the subconscious realms. So just face those fears or face those energies that you don't want in your life anymore, and understand that in order to surrender, you have to let go. And letting go will help you. It'll help you attract much more incredible, flexible, and you'll just feel like you're more alive in your body. Okay, so get ready. So now we're going to be looking at what advice you need to know in regards to the month of March of 2024. What is your message, Scorpio? Oh, beautiful. Love. This is so beautiful. This is a really good sign for you. Okay, so great news. You have a lot going on in your fifth house. So if you've been single for a long time, this is your year, or this is your month to start attracting incredible connections. Now, with the lunar eclipse happening in Libra on the 25th, I would suggest for you to not necessarily start a relationship. It would be a good period for you to manifest. It's more about visualizing what you truly want in your love connections. And if you are in a relationship right now, the same applies. This is a period about you turning over a new leaf in your love story. This is so beautiful. I love it because it's like raying out, like there's lots of rays in the center of this card, which promises a more radiant light, more radiant connection in your love story. You're not meant to live an intensity of your experience. You're meant to live more in alignment with your purity and the purity of connections in life. So it could be like a new creative project or a renewal of connection in your love story. So this is going to be a really beautiful and fertile time for you, Scorpio. So I'm happy for you, and just enjoy the pink, the pink energy of love. So this is very promising for you to deepen your connection. And if you are in a relationship that you're not really going to be moving forward in, it just promises that you're going to be attracting a much credible connection down the road too. So single, taken, married, wherever you are in your love story, love is on the horizon for you. You just have to hold the faith. Okay. Now this is your message, Scorpio, and I have enjoyed reading your monthly horoscope for the month of March of 2024, and I will see you next time. All right, Sagittarius, this is your monthly horoscope for the month of March of 2024. This month is going to be an incredible month to improve your communication skills because Venus and Mars will align your beliefs, giving you the power to speak confidently and effectively as it's taking place in your third house of communication. The key dates for you to consider and take mind of is March 3rd, which is Venus will be in square to Uranus, activating your third house and sixth house. So yes, got a lot of communication boosts here, but be cautious with your words because especially at work or around others, the Venus-Uranus square on the 3rd could lead to confrontation or two. It's important to think carefully before making any important decisions regarding your work status. And also, it's a period for you to start connecting with others and enjoy a healthy debate, and not really confronting with others in terms of instilling or invoking your own beliefs on them. It's more along the lines of you collaborating and negotiating and understanding different sides of other people's perspectives and your own. So this is a period for you to start working on your communication game here, okay? Now, when Mercury enters Aries on the 9th, and when the new moon happens in Pisces on the 10th, those 2 days are really important for you because when Mercury enters Aries, it will make you feel much more confident. Because when Mercury enters Aries, it's going to make you feel so much more confident and articulate in your speech. And with the new moon happening on the next day, it's going to encourage you to start focusing on building solid foundations in your personal life. So this is a period for you to start restructuring the frame of your ideas and your thoughts and really setting things down in the foundations. So you're going to be really powered up and confident in your approach here. And the new moon in your 4th house on the 10th, wow, I'd say like if you're planning on moving or if you're planning on relocating of some sort, or just establishing like a new phase of your life experience involving home, this is your window. And if you're feeling like really pulled in the direction of finding home or reconnecting with your roots or establishing your own sets of roots within the home, this is your moment. And that's your message on March 10th. Now, when March 21st happens, the sun will be in sextile to Pluto, activating your third house and your fifth house. Your passion projects are going to definitely take root here because the sun, when it connects to Pluto, it's going to magnify your ideas and you'll have the chance to connect with others who share your vision. Pay attention to the signs and synchronicities from the universe because they are clues. Believe me, Pluto adds a dose of magic in your like daily life sphere because it's in your third house. That's the third house. It has to do with your ideas or your connections, the mental spheres of life. But with Pluto taking place there, it's going to be promising you like signs and synchronicities. And like when you're like talking to people, like day-to-day life, like just basic conversations, you're going to hear things regarding your purpose. Something's going to definitely take root around that time because Pluto does expose, and people will go through, especially you, Sagittarius, you're going to be going through like some interesting mystical experiences in your day-to-day life because you're more receptive to the information now. Because third house has to do with receptivity of new forms of communication and conversations of any sort. So Pluto will be giving that dose of mystical moments and magic. So I really congratulate you, Sagittarius. You're going to be going through a lot of incredible experiences in that respect. Now, when March 25th happens, the lunar eclipse will be taking place in your 11th house. Towards the end of this month, it's going to be prompting you to evaluate your friendships and networks. So it's not to say I'm telling you to let go of everybody in your midst, but it's more along the lines of you starting to let go of any groups or activities that you're no longer aligned with or serving your growth. It's time to find a tribe by being true to yourself, and taking chances and speaking about your passions will help your dreams take flight. So as you become really truly invested in expressing your beliefs and thoughts and ideas open-heartedly. It's not about enforcing. It's more about just speaking about it through passion and educating. And people will really align with you and add more fuel to the fire with your motivation here. So the lunar eclipse here is meant to beckon you to let go of certain people or situations or activities that is just, it's not harnessing growth in any way. So start thinking about it and start analyzing with what's weighing you down in that respect. And once you make room, that's when your soul tribe will take form. And that's your message for the month, Sagittarius. And we're going to be drawing a card of advice covering the month of March 2024. And what advice do you need to know? You got this card called Ghost. Well, ghost, from what I'm seeing, is an indicator that there's an aspect of yourself or an aspect of your situation that requires revisiting. Or in other words, there's a part of your journey which requires you to analyze and what's been left unresolved. I can also see this as like a mystical experience as well. That's just coming through to me because it's ghosts. And I was saying earlier, because Pluto does bring in like some experiences that are very questionable and mysterious. So I would say there's a part of you that needs to start analyzing with what is a ghost in your life. What's bogging you down, like in terms of energetic. It's time to cut the cords of that. Could be people in your life. It can also be mystical experiences you're going to be going through, which is really cool. A little scary. I mean, if you're a little scared of like paranormal activities or any sort of spiritual activities, I would recommend you to sage your space. And that will actually help you become much more clear, and you'll help block out anything that you don't want in your space. Okay. So this card can also be an indicator that somebody from your past will return. Could be like a past relationship or a past connection that you were in, or something of sort will turn up. Might trigger you to not live in your authentic path, or you facing the ghosts of your past and starting to make peace with it in order for you to move forward in your journey. So it's a really profound message for you to consider. If there's somebody who is not really aligning for your highest and greatest good, this is an indicator for you to watch out, or at least review as to the meaning behind why they are haunting you still. Okay. So for this month, I would say just focus more on the present moments. Stop, try to withdraw from like really repressing yourself from the past of what's been left unresolved. It's more along the lines of you moving forward. Of course, you could review the past, but it's more along the lines of you moving forward and paving a new path that will be aligning with you, and that will lead to profound opportunity. And that is your message for the month of March 2024. And I hope you enjoyed this monthly horoscope, Sagittarius, and I will see you next time. Okay, Capricorn, this is your monthly horoscope for the month of March of 2024. And for March, money and status will be the framework for you this month, Capricorn. And you are the sign that is really good with money, or at least appreciates the finer things in association with money. Venus and Mars is located in your financial sector for the first half of March. And it's going to require you to analyze your income and your investments. Like, what have you been working on, like in terms of your money, and what have you been building towards? And like, are you actually utilizing to its full potential? That's what you have to come into question here. Okay. Now, from March 3rd to the 9th, Venus and Mars will square off Uranus, activating your second and fifth house here. Be mindful of making major purchases from the 3rd to the 9th, because this transit will entice you to make bold moves, but it will be favorable for you to review the realistic aspect before leaping. So this could be something where like it's just like joy, or wanting to really like go through like a retail therapy splurge or of some sort. So just be mindful and reevaluate the meaning behind why you need to spend, or why you need to like really get your priorities in order involving money, or just if anything requires a major big move around this time, I would steer clear, or at least review very carefully before you do it. Okay. Because it might lead to some kind of confusions down the road or bizarre experiences. And Uranus does throw curveballs from time to time here. Okay. So just be mindful from those days and just like reevaluate later in the month. Now, for March 10th, when the new moon in Pisces takes place in your third house, a new wave of inspiration is going to take root during this time, because it's going to ignite the need to open your heart to new experiences involving your skills or locally. It's favorable to look or learn something new and detail your daily life while figuring out how present you are, because the third house is more about the mind. It's more about like becoming more enforcing yourself into the present moment, because it could stir up a lot of ideas constantly. It's really good to take fertile ideas down, like write it down in a nice journal. However, you have to become much more focused as to how you are living out your life and how present you are around people you're surrounded with. Okay. Now, it's a good idea for you to start planting a seed of intention involving an idea. It could be like a start of a new book. It could be a start of a new podcast. It could be a start of a new business venture of some sort. But this is about ideas. It's about you starting to write down like whatever it is pulling you and making you feeling very inspired here. And therefore, leading to later in this month, that's when the lunar eclipse in Libra will be happening in your 10th house. We'll talk about that in a moment. But right now, it's about analyzing with what you could do, what you could attract, and how you can utilize it to incredible, limitless growth here. Okay. So start thinking about it, start reflecting on the idea, and then see where it takes root down the road. Now, when Venus conjuncts Saturn, the third house, on the 21st of March, it's going to create stability in your ideas, allowing you to share your gifts with others. You're going to see something take form around here. You will be in the limelight. Can't help it, actually, because that's what Venus does. It expresses like such incredible radiance to whatever it touches. And in the limelight, you're going to form incredible connections here, romantically or professionally. So if you're single, this is a great time to like start engaging much more with people, just like start experiencing like fun debates with others, or just like starting to like just engage more with people who you normally wouldn't even talk to. And it could lead to incredible outlets of connections down the road here for you. So just start going out like curious and just experience life like a child here, especially within the local sphere. So if you're feeling like inclined to trying like a new coffee shop, or trying like go to a new library or a new bookstore of some sort, like something where you are engaging the mind, or just getting involved with the local sphere of life, could lead to serendipitous opportunities on that day. Now, when March 25th happens, the lunar eclipse is occurring in Libra in your 10th house. So as I was talking about before, when the new moon happened in your third house on the 10th of March, this is the finality of some sort involving your career. And it can mark an end of a chapter involving your role to some aspect. This can manifest as a shift in your position, helping you to realize what gifts you wish to utilize moving forward. But you have to remember to implement all that you've learned during the month in order to navigate your course in these next few months. So lunar eclipses happen 6-month range, and just be mindful. It's not going to end overnight on the 25th, but there has to be a pivoting of your role and purpose, something that is making you feel inspired and new and just empowered in your process here. Okay. And that is your lunar eclipse message, Capricorn. Now we're going to be drawing a card in regards to your message of the month of March of 2024. And what do you need to know in regards to what's in store for you? Oh, I love this. Okay. You got flow. Flow means that you just have to, no matter where your month goes, it's more along the lines of you becoming open to new experiences, very much in relation to the new moon message for you in the third house. If you're feeling intuitively guided to try something new, go someplace else, try something, a new skill of some sort. If you feel guided to doing it, go into the flow because it leads you to incredible outlets of opportunity for you. And the blue energy is turquoise. Turquoise has to do with the throat chakra. It's about communication, very much like your third house. The same thing. Third house is about invoking new inspiration and ideas. And it's more along the lines of you living the example, being the example, and also just going the flow of life, like the currents, can't fight against it. Because when the lunar eclipse happens on the 25th, it might propel you to feel a certain way. You might feel like very triggered or um, cornered or just unsure. It's just like it does create a bit of instability. Could be of an indicator that you need to shift something in the work. You feel pressure to try something new or feel pressure to step up and be recognized for your gifts and talents. Because in relation to the lunar eclipse happening in your 10th house, this has something to do with your role within the workplace. Seeing if it fully aligns with you, if you're feeling a resistance of the currents in some way or form, that's an indicator that a review is in check. And talking to your superiors about any incoming opportunities where you could be inspired, where you could be utilizing your gifts to its full potential, that would be very ideal for you. And that was when you will be knowing where you stand and as well as what needs to come through. And just go with the flow with how you feel, because that's the intuitive self-talking too. Okay. Now that is your message for the month of March 2024, Capricorn, and I hope you enjoyed this reading, and I will see you next time. All right, Aquarius, for your month of March of 2024, life is going to be like a stage for you. A group of planets, Venus, Mars, and Pluto, all in alignment with your sign, makes the perfect time for you to share your light with others. And hold on to this confidence because a moment of doubt might come up between the days of the 3rd of March to the 9th. During this time when Mars and Venus square off to Uranus, it could throw you off balance because it's impacting your 1st house of self and the 4th house of emotional stability and family life. So it could make you question your self-worth from time to time, leaving you feeling vulnerable in the face of your family's opinions or people in your intimate life. In such times, it's really important for you to start honoring your individuality because with Venus in your sign, Mars and Pluto, all in your 1st house, I mean, it's going to be invoking this sense of individuality and confidence about you. And it will help you pursue with what's aligning with your true happiness, as it will help you find progress. And as you're like living within the rhythm of your joy, your fulfillment, and the most authentic way possible, that's when you progress and you see clearer because of that reason. So this intense square may give off triggers in regards to the old stored up emotions or stored up feelings. And it's more along the lines of you holding steady with your vision. Just keep going. And with March 10th, the new moon will be in Pisces in your 2nd house. It will empower you to start building on your financial traction and security And through your self-esteem and you starting to excavate earnings finally, there's a lot of magic in the air for you this month because planting the seed of intention of a business or a project pitch at work will attract the desired results that you want. Dream big because this lunation will be a big win for you. And that new moon in your second house could also help you just redefine as to whatever it is that you are feeling pulled to try. And it will give you that power and traction to fulfill it. And I congratulate you, Aquarius. When the sun enters Aries on the 21st, Aries, it will be, the sun will be sextiling to Pluto, activating your third house and the first house. That's very good news because you can expect your ideas and dreams to just start like coming alive at this point. There's more power and momentum and just excitement in your adventures. So with the support of sextile, your wishes will be cultivated here. So just hold on to the faith because earlier part of this month with that Venus and Mars square to Uranus, it could test you. So just wait it out until like when Aries season begins. Just hold on to the faith and just stay consistent with your beliefs. And you'll see things cultivate in the most incredible way possible. And now in finality of this month, lunar eclipse happening in Libra on the 25th. It's activating your ninth house. It concludes a phase in your personal beliefs. It will also encourage you to explore the uncharted, can manifest in many different ways, such as travel, different courses of study, or just going public with your wisdom. Like there's just something that needs to be birthed to full culmination here. So I would suggest for you to start like whatever it is that you've been building for so long, you have to take a chance and just take a leap and launch, or just keep going with your ideas and just nourish it because it's going to lead to more of this. You're going to feel very seen. It's also an opportunity to give more power to your voice, more power to your passions, and whatever it is that you have, like, you've ever had like self-deprecating tendencies, or in your past, you just didn't see your dreams take root just yet. This lunar eclipse is going to help you release that belief, that personal belief system, and therefore you're going to be igniting a better sense of confidence here. So let go of whatever it is that's been really weighing you down in regards to your belief system, like, because it's going to be a revisitation of that for these next 6 months. It's not necessarily that you're going to fall into it again, but it's more along the lines of you just like really buffering out that deprecating habit, or to buffering out anything that has been like leading to setbacks in your journey. So this lunar eclipse is going to be a pivotal moment for you to realize your worth here. And I congratulate you. In store for you, Aquarius, what is your theme month of March of 2024? Oh, well, this is meant to come out. All right. I'm happy. Look at this success. So keep the faith. I love that you got the success card because it's so fitting, because I see that the new moon in Pisces and the sun and sextile Pluto within that 2 or 11-day range. It looks like something is going to definitely take root. And you have just like this renewed vigor and passion for life here. You're ready. You're ready to graduate, or you're ready to really step into your full power and radiance here. Because you see how it's like orange? Orange has to do with the sacral chakra. The sacral chakra is around the pelvic region. It's about your passion, your creativity, like what stirs your fire, like your inner self, and whatever it is pulling you in the most seamless kind of way. That's your sign. And I love that you have the sun in the upper left-hand corner of this card. You just have a lot of power and radiance about you. It's like the light, and like everybody sees you in full view. So I would say just really own that shine and own that radiance, because you have it within yourself and you don't need validation from others. Really let go of that need for validation, because you have it in you. You have that radiance, you have that passion, you have that fire in you that's really meant to stick in this life. And you're up to the plate because you have Pluto in your sign for the next 18, 19 years. I mean, everybody's going to look to you for advice. Pluto and Aquarius, I mean, it's a long transit, and you've been equipped for this, and you are so ready to ignite your power and your radiance and your I just keep saying you're ready because you are. So I congratulate you, Aquarius. Okay. All right, Aquarius. Thank you so much for watching the horoscopes, and I will see you soon. All right, Pisces. I'm very happy to be reporting for you for the March horoscopes of 2024. And I am very happy to report this because I'm a Pisces as well. Hello, twin. Congratulations. Last month was intense, but this month you will achieve closure on your subconscious beliefs and you will revisit and make peace with unresolved issues from your past as Venus and Mars have been really doing a number in your 12th house. So it really is going to be clearing out the way for you to rewire your subconscious realms and belief. And you're going to feel much more in your body now for this month. Okay. So from March 3rd to the 9th, Venus and Mars will be in square to Uranus, activating your 12th house and 3rd house. So forming the square, all of these planets, it's going to present an opportunity to be recognized and overcome your self-limiting beliefs about the past and gain mastery over your mental conflicts. You are going to be making a breakthrough moment in regards to what is going to be holding you steady and also what is igniting momentum with your ideas. And it's not to say you're going to figure it out that day, but whatever is going to be triggering you that day or whatever is making you feel a little unsettled, take note of that because in the mind, which is the 3rd house, it's meant to activate this new information as to what you need to take with you, with whatever goals, motivations, or subconscious beliefs for you to keep going in your journey. Because whatever you're facing around that time, Uranus is going to be shaking it up. So yeah, like whatever is really cornering you with your subconscious belief realms and any sort, you're going to be rising above it. And just take note of as to what the root cause of these triggers are. I would recommend you to start like talking to somebody like a therapist or a coach or astrologer or someone where you're going to be making sense as to what's going on with your subconscious mindsets. And you write it down or try like drawing or painting or draw, like really channeling a stream of consciousness and writing it down because Venus is residing right now in Mars. It's going to be triggering a lot of new ideas, but you don't know where exactly to take root of it just yet, but you just have to keep going. But structuring it down by tangibly seeing it and understanding where it's coming from will help you find the clarity you need. Okay. Now, with March 8th, Mercury's in conjunct to Neptune in your sign of the 1st house. With patience and compassion for yourself, your perspective is going to shift because when Mercury and Neptune connect, it's going to be offering you a bigger picture of your place in the world and your experiences. Engaging in consistent practices and spiritual practices will help you ground your discoveries. And Mercury on your 1st house will be nothing but adding momentum and power and traction to your speech. So whatever it is that you desire to express or launch into the world, you are more than equipped for this because you have been doing a lot of inner work for these past few years, specifically within the last few months, because Neptune has been really, really helping you become much more invested in terms of your soul growth and understanding of how life works around you. It's more about you pinpointing and paying attention as to the general and the grand contextual message of your life and its story and its direction as to where you're going. Neptune wants you to become more in alignment with your authentic path and genuinity. It's meant to chisel out the old paradigm of how you've been living, whereas Mercury is about bridging down that message that's meant to reach your ears and through your speech. That's how I see it. So I would say really be receptive to this information specifically on March 8th, okay? Now, leading into March 10th, when the new moon takes place in Pisces in your 1st house, my gosh, you're going to feel a lot more alive in your skin, more awake. It will ignite your enthusiasm to reinvent yourself and make a significant impact on society in some way or form. So I would say, like, from whatever it is that you've been learning for this moment in time, leading to this moment now, share your story or share your gifts with the world confidently. Because when you shine your authentic self and radiate your inner light in the most authentic way possible, you will be seen. And it's not to say for any selfish reasons. It's not going to be through self-serving tendencies. It's more along the lines of you helping others and becoming invested in terms of the well-being of others and spreading your compassion for self by you. Compassion for self before you extend compassion for others. That's key, because that's how others will mirror the same way. When we birth compassion for ourselves, that's what heals the world. Because the sole reason as to why people suffer is because we don't love ourselves. We don't have any sense of self-love. And in your case, Pisces, you are the prime example as to how self-love could be birthed, because you're an example of all past pain. Every human life experience lives through you because you connect so well with other people. People are meant to come to you to mirror as to what has been left unresolved within yourself. So with the new moon in Pisces, a new identity will be birthed from you. So take this with resonance, and as well as like how you're feeling right now, like what needs to be birthed within you at this moment in time. And as long as authenticity comes through, that's going to be the key to your mastery of this transit. And now leading to March 25th, when the lunar eclipse happens in your 8th house, my gosh, your intimate connection with yourself or your partner will undergo a period of reflection. You have the next few months to review your long-term plans, and as well as resolve old buried traumas or dependencies while merging your resources. It's just like whenever you have like old buried traumas or dependencies in a partnership, or possessions, or of some sort where you are just holding on to control tendencies, it's time to let go, because this lunar eclipse will be activating a new wave of thought or belief, or the way you're living your life intentionally. It's going to be revealing that very profoundly here. And merging resources, you'll undergo this period of connecting with your partner if you have any, or just looking at the accumulation of wealth and seeing if you want to take it with you or if you want to work with it in some way or form. There needs to be a sort of reinvention or release from here on out. So if you are in an intimate partnership, this could be a period for you to start designating more attention towards how you're truly feeling in terms of the vulnerable sense, and whether your partner is mirroring that. So buried traumas could be a reflection as to holding on to something that's not living with you anymore, or holding on to something that hasn't been aligning with you for some time. So this is a period for you to see in clear view as to where you stand here. Okay. And I believe in you. Your advice card for the month of March. And let's see what's in store for you for March of 2024. What advice do you need to know for March of 2024? Okay. So Pisces, you got the cleanse card. Time to cleanse. I remember I told you about how Venus and Mars are occupying your 12th house for the first half of March. Well, I would suggest for you to start investing time into cleansing the higher conscious mindset, the subconscious realms, because there needs to be a reinvention of your ideas as to who you are, and as well as the experiences that have been really unfolding around you, because you don't need to be defined by your past. You define yourself by your future decisions that you make in the present moment. Now, cleansing is also a recommendation as to how you can cleanse your voice, cleanse your beliefs, cleanse your mental patterns, because the blue energy has to do with the throat chakra, right? So I would recommend you to start observing the state of your thoughts. Start observing like where you stand in terms of how you see yourself in alignment with the new moon in Pisces. Who do you want to be? That's the question I have to ask you, because when you cleanse your thoughts and worries away, and fears or ideas as to how the world works, it's going to lead you to this new path as to how you can live authentically and attract incredible opportunities down the road. Okay, so that is your message, Pisces, and I hope you enjoyed your message for the month of March of 2024, and I will see you next time. Thank you so much for joining me on the Align Your Stars podcast. I hope you enjoyed the general horoscopes and the general forecast of March of 2024, and as well as the astrology signs. If you haven't already, please subscribe, hit the notification bell, and share this video. And please comment your sign as to like what you've been experiencing this month and how it's been helping you, and also any comments that you have for this video and its content. I would really appreciate it, because as to what you thought of the Prism Oracle cards, this new feature edition. I love working with colors and chromotherapy, so this is something new that I'm introducing to the show. And if you have enjoyed that, please hit subscribe. And as well as, what did you think of the card reading? And Is it like resonant of you? Are you working with it? Please keep in touch with me. I'd love to hear from you, and I will see you next time. Be well.